Hey, Jules Bless Vegan, and thank you so much for checking in. I am trying to just push through. It's already 10 minutes to midnight. Where did the time go? But despite still having a cold which won't let go, and I'm just offering that to God because I know I'm on track. I know I'm eating right. Our body goes through stuff. I could be detoxing, but this might just be my process. I'm accepting it. But I didn't expect to fall in the grocery store yesterday, and that hurt. And I had to go to school today, and I was in pain all day. And some of you know my story, but because of my kidneys and just my life, I choose not to take medication of any kind. So at best, I can ice myself or use heat, but not really while I'm teaching, right? So I was still trying to be joyful, especially since we just got back from Christmas break. But I'm hurting, and I'm not done yet. And you know what? This is a deficit of mine because I know a lot of people who are getting up super early in the morning to find time in their day so that they're not so stressed out. And I'm one of those girls who instead is up until 2 in the morning and gets up at 5:30 for my alarm and just kind of does whatever it takes, and it's not working for me. So I definitely need to add time management. Reassessing time management, most certainly, as part of my, better way of living. But that is a talk for another day, my friends, because I said yesterday that I had a great talk for you. And what it was is yesterday was the epiphany of the Lord. And even though some people aren't religious and they certainly don't even know or care about the epiphany per se, most people on the planet have heard of the three wise men and the story of the three wise men bringing gifts to Jesus, like frankincense and myrrh and gold, right? So anyway, the Epiphany is actually the 12th day of Christmas. So for steadfast people, they don't even put up their tree or gifts or anything until the 25th. And then for the next 12 days, those are the official 12 days of Christmas. And finally, the 12th day is January 6th, which is the Epiphany of our Lord. And it's the recognition, that he is Lord, right? So it's kind of considered a baptism for him. And rightly so, people often bring gifts, right? So the three wise men were not religious in any way. They were actually scientific, and don't be confused with astrology. Yeah, astrology, where people talk about their signs, and I'm a Capricorn and la la la. They were astronomers, okay? So they studied the sky. And when they saw that star of Bethlehem shining so bright, like nothing ever had in all of time, they had to follow it. And so they set out to find that star and find out the meaning of it and what was going on. And what it was God kept shining that star so bright, and it certainly guided them. But at times it wasn't visible. And that slowed their process down, allowing them to encounter some wicked people and, undermining people who ultimately were after Jesus. But in those times, they still remained steadfast. They continued to investigate. They were patient until the star reappeared, and then they followed it again. And ultimately, they got to their goal. So the name of this video, and now I'm on fire and can't even think of how to say it, but it's When Doubt, which of course is when in doubt, but it's just when doubt, stay action, which actually means to stay action just means to not act on something when you're doubting. And so what happens in our society is that we are so quick to over-respond if we don't get the exact result we want immediately. And, it's kind of funny. We're so upset if our phone, doesn't respond within 30 seconds of whatever it is we're doing. But that phone has to go all the way to the universe and back, right? I mean, it has to go up to the satellites, rebound off of them, blah, 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 go through our carrier, everything else. But we want it, instantly. And so people often turn to doubt. And it's the same thing with a different lifestyle of eating. So if you're like a person who's obsessed with the scale, which I've certainly been many times in my life, if the scale doesn't move in the right direction, if it doesn't move quickly enough, if it accidentally goes backwards for so many reasons, because the female body is so complicated, we decide that the action is going to be, forget this, man, it's a total waste of time. I might as well just eat. If we're doing, the raw vegan diet and all of our ailments aren't going away fast enough, things that took years and years to get to the detrimental stage that they're at, then, our action is to say that this is broken and doesn't work, when in fact we came broken and the solution will take time, right? So when doubt, stay action is what it is. And it just means to suspend the action. Same thing when something goes wrong and people immediately want to blame God and just say, yeah, I knew God didn't care. And I knew that, all of that was fake, because if God cared, God would blank, 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 blank. And we fill in all these things that God's supposed to do because something went wrong in our life, and of course, it's all about us, right? It can't possibly be the process of the other person. When somebody else has an illness, when somebody else dies unexpectedly, is there any chance that that's their process and that it's not all about us? Because just, again, so often, people will just decide that they better act or go in a different direction instead of just waiting patiently for the reveal. And so I just thought that was such an interesting talk. I love that the wise men were not even religious, but that they just saw something phenomenal in the sky and just had to pursue it to get to the truth. And I love that, we have this answer to a better way of life, in eating vegan and eating raw and certainly abstaining from animal products. And, if we're doubting that is going to work, if we're doubting that we're going to get the results, we need to just stay the action, suspend action, and stay the course. Because as we know, these things have been proven. They've been proven by so many who have walked before us. And ultimately, they will remain steadfast in proving their truth again, given the time. So that's the grace that I wish for myself, and I certainly wish it for you, that if you're in doubt, when you know that you've chosen something that's life-giving, and you're in doubt as to whether you've gone the right direction, just stay the action, suspend action, and stay the course, and see how it plays out. Because most likely you're going to get the exact result you were praying for. But it takes time. And as I've said many times, I rejoice that I'm only losing like 4 pounds a month, because for me, that's safe. That feels safe to me. Anything else would be far too overwhelming, and God knows that about me. If He changes it at some point, it will probably match the exact amount of growth that I have. But in the meantime, I just thank Him for His patience with me, His love of me, His understanding of me and what works for His daughter. A parent often knows, right? So I'll take it. So that's it, peeps. You know what? I hope you're doing well. I hope if you're participating in the reset that it's amazing for you. If you're doing Dawn's Happier Rebounder Challenge, I hope that's great. If you're just checking in with Jules Plus Vegan, rock and roll. That is an awesome start. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Know that I'll respond. Pray for me, my pain, my wellness. I know it's all coming. I'm going to stay action while I wait, because I'm not doubting. But sometimes when I hurt too much, doubt will creep in. But I know God has a great plan. I know I'm well and on my way. And if Miss Raw is watching, I hope my eyes look vibrant. Because I'm on it, girl. All right, my friends, until we talk again, you got it. Be blessed.